In our Christian communities, we are often told that evolution is false, even that it's a lie. But we shouldn't be afraid of evolution. It is the wondrous means by which God creates life on this planet, and is not in conflict with the Bible. We should educate ourselves about evolution so we can accept the science and move beyond these phony science versus religion conflicts. And we don't have to be scientists to understand and assess the evidence. It is clear and accessible to all who put in some effort and have an open mind. Looking at horse fossils is a great way to explore evolution, and we are going to do that in this short video. Hey there, I'm John and welcome to my channel. We discuss challenging and interesting aspects of Christianity and Scripture here. Evolution is an important topic for us, and it is an important topic for the church. I'm a Christian, and I looked at the evidence, and I accepted evolution, and it didn't shake my faith. I think it would be healthy for the church if more Christians accepted evolution. What I'm doing in this series is providing some of the evidence that convinced me, like fossil horses. Quick housekeeping note, when you see a citation appear on the lower third of the screen, I'm at that point referencing the source that I am quoting or paraphrasing. Okay, now let's get right to it. Horses are often put forth as a clear case study of evolution, since the fossil record for horses is unusually full, and the transformational process was gradual and captured on film, if you will, by the fossils, sort of like an old-fashioned flip book from the early days of cartoons. Now the story starts 58 million years ago with an animal called Hyracotherium and ends today with the modern horse. Hyracotherium is also known as Eohippus, so if you've heard of Eurohippus, that's Hyracotherium. Now Hyracotherium was itself a transitional form between its own ancestors and the horse family, and was not at all like modern horses. It was small, about 1.5 feet or 2 feet tall, and 50 to 60 pounds, and lived in the forest where it browsed for fruit and foliage. Kathleen Hunt describes it as having a doggish look with an arched back, short neck, short snout, short legs, and long tail. A modern horse, by contrast, is much bigger at close to 1,000 pounds and has long legs and a long neck and grazes in the open plains. Now, in between Hyracotherium and the modern horse, there have been over 200 horse species within 30 plus genera. Only one genus has survived to today, Equus, of which a handful of species remain. In the course of more than 55 million years, several characteristics of the horse have changed markedly. The most obvious difference between Hyracotherium and the modern horse is size. Over 55 million plus years, horse species grew from the size of a dog to the size of, well, a horse. For perhaps 35 million years, the first 35 million years, successive horse species grew in weight and height only marginally. Look here at a representation of Eurohippus from around 48 million years ago. It is still quite small. Then, around the time when they started moving from the forest to the plains, as the climate and thus the landscape changed, the pace of growth accelerated. It is interesting to point out, though, that a couple of evolutionary branches went the other way, toward miniature dwarf horses that are extinct today. Now take a look at this graphic. Mesohippus at the bottom was about 35 million years ago and was about 2 feet tall. Merychippus arrived on the scene like 15 million years ago and was about 3 feet tall. Pliohippus was about 10 million years ago and was about 4 feet tall. The modern genus of horse, Equus, arrived on the scene a few million years ago, and the species are generally 5 to 6 feet tall. Now, another area of conspicuous evolution is the hoof. Hyracotherium had 4 toes on its front feet and 3 on its hind feet. On this diagram, we can see for the 4 toes marked 2 through 5. 15 million years later, so about 40 million years ago, the 4th toe on the front foot reduces to a vestigial digit and then eventually disappears in genus like Mesohippus 5 million years later. We see here in this photo that Mesohippus had 3 toes and all 3 were touching the ground. As time goes on, the outside toes on both feet get smaller and the central toes get larger. Then the outside toes stop touching the ground around 25 million years ago. This condition sticks around in multiple species until at least down to 10 million years ago. Around 15 million years ago, one-toed horses start to appear in genus such as Pliohippus, Astrohippus, and Dinohippus. This happened as horses became predominantly plains grazing animals and in an environment, contrary to the forest, where straight line speed and endurance became important. And interestingly, some species of the genus Dinohippus had, at one time, individuals with one toe and individuals with three toes. This looks to be a snapshot of evolution happening, as the species went from three to one toe via natural selection as the one-toed trait spread through the population. Now, the outside toes still lived on, though, in the form of vestigial splints, as any horse owner who has had their animal suffer from splint injuries can tell you. Another key feature that evolved over time was the teeth. Early descendants of Hyracotherium showed minor but significant dental changes. Later, when horses moved to the grasslands, larger changes are noted in the fossil record. Eating grass wears down teeth quickly due to the silica content in grass. Horses on the grasslands had taller molars with a layer of cement, so they would take longer to wear down. Canine teeth reduced, and incisors, the front teeth, became chisel-shaped. Basically, as the environment changed and the grasslands spread at the expense of tropical forests, fossils of teeth progressed from those suited to a forest browser to the grinding implements of a grasslands grazer. As Bruce J. MacFadden, the world's foremost expert on fossil horses, writes, between 55 and 20 million years ago, horses had short-crowned teeth adapted for browsing on soft, leafy vegetation. In the ensuing 5 million years, the fossil record reflects changes in teeth, resulting in high-crowned teeth adapted for grazing on the extensive grasslands of the more open country biomes, which spread during the Miocene period, which was 25 to 15 million years ago. Now we can see this play out on this graphic. When we get to Merychippus, we see the teeth changing, becoming longer, and that process continues through modern horses. Other characteristics of the horse, such as the limbs, display change over time as well. The limbs become more restrictive in their movements, for example, not being able to rotate, and the two bones of the lower leg fuse together. These changes favor straight line speed. As well, new ligaments appear, and the legs have become more springy. Also, interestingly, a few million years ago, a stay apparatus appears in which the forelimbs and hind limbs lock into position to reduce the muscular energy required to maintain a standing posture. This helps horses remain standing for 18 hours a day. So how does the horse fossil record add to the evolution debate? Well, horse evolution is not as dramatic as that of, say, whales, but the fossil record is really good for horses, in that we have so many fossils. And the picture it tells, I think, is very clear. So that's it for now. If you found value in this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. Until next time, God bless.